Hello again, back again. It's been a few days. There's been lots happening, and I felt I needed to keep my energy inside and funnel it towards those things that I was trying to bring into my reality. Yeah, I felt I needed to keep the source strong. Yeah, staying positive. That is one of the hard parts of manifesting, because you really don't have anything to go on once you put the thing out there and you take action towards it. You really don't have anything to reinforce you into the idea that you are going in the right direction. The only thing that you have to go on are your emotions around the end results. Well, I know, well, if I do this, I'm going to feel freedom, excitement, a general positive outlook around my day. Well, you hold on to that, but at the same time, your reality doesn't, there's nothing happening. You're doing the things that you need to do, but there's nothing coming in. And it's how to stay positive, hold on to that vision while you take that aligned action, no matter how small it is in a day, because not every day can be the same. Some days you're going to be really motivated and you have the space and the energy to do a bunch of things, and the other days when all you can do, try to remain neutral around your manifestations, not negative, neutral. Those are the days when you just can't manage to get to the positive emotions because it seems like they're just so far away. Those are the days when you really put in a lot of effort just to remain neutral so that you don't work against yourself. And then one day, things just come in, one after the other. I'm here to tell you that it can be done. That's what I'm here to tell you. I'm here to tell you that I don't have any regrets when I think back. Today I have time, and I also have things coming in that are a better fit for where I am in my life right now and what I want to do with that life. Things that are going to help me feel the way I want to feel in my life every day. And there's an excitement about that and a contentment there that I am very grateful for. And if I can do it, anybody can do it. I'm not telling anybody what to do. I'm just sharing what I have done. I'm not an expert. But when all is said and done, I hope to be an expert on my own life. And the way that I'll judge that is when the time comes for me to transition to other realms. The way that I'll judge that is if I can look back and feel good and not have many regrets about things that I wanted to do but didn't do. I would like, for the most part, to say, well, I wanted to do that and I tried it and I did it. It worked, it didn't work. Whatever it is, but not to get to the point where I don't have time left and the list of things that I wanted to do I didn't do, and the list of things I wanted to say I didn't say, and the list of relationships that I wanted to change or make better is too long for me to feel good about. I want to make sure that those lists are not long. That is my aim. And I can say now that I'm on the right track, because I'm beginning to see things show up in my reality to reinforce that idea. And so maybe I'll continue to ramble a little bit longer because it's been a while, and I do miss chatting in this way. It really helps me to take a stock. It's like my journal. I find that my thoughts flow a lot more without any judgment when I speak it. Sometimes when you write, you have time to analyze the things that you write in, which to me takes away from sometimes the vulnerability of it and the authenticity of it, because you start judging and thinking, well, maybe that's not how I am. But if it's not how I am, then I wouldn't have said it or had the thought, or if the thought didn't live there, then it wouldn't come out, Also, I like editing these videos. Going back really allows me, same way for my art. Like, I started out filming my art process because I was able to remove myself from the equation and really become the observer once I looked back on the footage of the creative process of that art piece, and I was able to, on many occasions, identify where I could go and make improvements or change compositions so that it would be a more effective piece of art. There, I was able to create space between my observer self and my 3D self that allowed me to be more critical of the piece without having the emotional attachment to it. And I find the same thing for these videos. I'm able to see from a more objective place where I am, how I've changed, how I've evolved, how my thought process has changed between, for example, when I first decided to make this big change and now, and check my satisfaction levels. You know, am I good with this? Yes or no? If not, then how can I make it better? Is there anything I need to add? And is there anything that now I realize that would make me feel more fulfilled, that maybe I want to pursue in addition to art, you know? I had this friend once when I was living in Jamaica, and she used to have a school that taught kids how to swim, and she loved the ocean. Like, she was one of those people who just loved the sea. And I thought, wow, that's so amazing that she can earn a living enough to sustain herself by doing something that she likes to do. Not just doing something that she likes to do, but teaching people how to do that thing. And I thought, that's so cool. I wish I could do that. Not seeing then the potential. And I thought of her this morning when I was leaving Mojo's, actually. And I said, wow, I am doing the damn thing. I am doing the damn thing. Not entirely right now. I have to have a scaffold around the idea because I do need to cover my financial obligations. But that is not taking up all of my time and energy so that I don't have the ability to create and share it and earn some money from it. Also, making these videos, it makes me feel fulfilled, like it all has a purpose that is higher than me. I don't know exactly what other people are going through. I do know that there are some people who are going through big things. Some conversations have been sparked by some of these videos. I did not know that people were having these experiences. It has enriched my life for sure. There's a sense of community, knowing that there are people out there going through some of the same things. There's a lot happening in the world that is kind of shocking, unsettling. If you focus entirely on the things that are happening in the world without any perspective and any understanding of your own power to affect what's happening in the world right now, it is easy to feel a sense of doom. But a person who remains positive and understands that that frequency is powerful, like a Wi-Fi signal, that frequency helps to offset the negative frequencies, the chaos frequencies that are being emitted all over the place. Don't discount it. And also, when you get to the point where you feel hopeless or you're overwhelmed with rage or sadness, or to let it out, understanding that these emotions are meant to be felt and released. And in that way, you grow your spiritual muscles. Before you know it, you're a spiritual baddie. And you process those emotions for other people too without you even knowing it. Like a cleanser, like a spiritual washing machine. If you become conscious and aware, while you help to launder on a spiritual level, you also need to make sure that you keep your own vessel clean and clear. Watch who you hang out with. Watch your diet. Diet food, yes. And I'm a fine one to talk. Having gone to Mojo's this morning and had 2 of those chocolate things. Don't get me wrong, they're delicious, but 2 is a bit much. And I feel it in my body. But diet in terms of who you hang around, what watch, you look at on TV, what kind of music are you listening to? Have you heard some of these lyrics lately? There's music based on certain healing frequencies that are like a tonic for the spirit. Personally, my taste in music has changed a lot over the past few years. Like, I used to not be very conscious about what music I listen to. Right? I know sometimes I would go by like certain bars that I used to like to go to, and they start playing this music about women and a commentary on female genitalia. That never made me feel good. Why wasn't there a commentary on the man's genitalia? Why is mine? How is me? No reverence. Something that is so powerful. Direct attempt to devalue it, you know? And that used to get me upset, and I would just leave. As a practice, do not listen to certain kind of music. It don't make me feel good. And it's not just about the lyrics either. Sometimes it's about the actual music behind it. How does it make you feel? There's certain times when I need to purge some sadness, and so I put on a song that has this musical element to it that makes me feel sad, because I want to feel sad, because I know I have sadness I need to purge. So I put on the music and I get all up in my feelings. But I not really have on that for long. And when I want to live in that space, it's the same way when something bad happens to you and you feel like you need to talk about it. Talk about it and then stop. I was a big culprit of doing this. Something bad would happen, and my university friends know about this. Like, I would make a whole thing about it, the theatrics of it and the experience of it. Not understanding that every time I did that, I forced myself to relive the experience. And I did that many times, sometimes several times a day, for entertainment. At what cost? That I would relive this thing again and again and again, and prevent myself from moving up and out of the experience. No, I don't do that. Okay, sometimes you need to vent and move on, because I understand that to stay in that space and live in that space is a conscious choice not to move on from it. Sometimes moving on takes a shorter time than we think it does, when we become conscious of the things that we can do to help ourselves move on from a thing. And then you find that if you talk about it, you don't have the same emotions around it. Feel a different way. It's more mild. You can tell the story without these heavy feelings coming up inside. It becomes like you're telling the story like it happened to somebody else. You are the observer, as you should be, and you're objective about it. And also you begin to see more clearly what part you had to play in that. Yes, that thing happened. Well, how did I allow that to happen? It was my part. That's how you go. Anyway, I think I've rambled for long enough. I'm going to eat a cup of ice because it's hot. That's it from me, and I'll see you again.